Brian J. L. Glass, Harvey Award-winning writer of The Mice Templar, and you're watching Invest Comics TV.
All right. And this is Rick Osmond for Invest Comics TV, and today we're visiting with Sissy Pantelis, who is in Greece currently, correct?
In Athens, yes, in Athens, Greece.
Excellent. The purpose of this interview is to talk about your work with basically a couple of different outfits. You're working with Andrew Czar, correct?
Correct, yes. It was my first work, my first serious work in comics. So Andrew contacted me and he commissioned me first to do a few short scripts on the main stories in Dark Brain Comics. And then he liked that and he commissioned me to do two of the stories. One was a science fiction story called God Play. It was set in the future and it was about a simulator that could simulate everything that happened on Earth. And at some stage something strange happened and the woman who was controlling and had constructed this simulator had to sort it out. The other story was about a vampire lady in an underground of the futuristic world where the computer story happened, but the two stories were not related.
I see. Other than setting, general setting, they were two separate stories.
Not really connected. Some crossings were going to take place afterwards, but very small things. You know, they were not connected, not really connected.
Okay. Excellent. So you're also working with the artist at Zenescope, Mike DeBalfo, is that correct?
Oh, well, yes, I contacted him. You know, I love Zenescope, and as I have an experience with writing erotic stuff, because in Dark Brain Comic, we were doing erotic stuff, not porn, you know, but erotic, and I loved Mike DeBalfo's work, so I contacted him, and I told him in the future to do something with him. And he said, okay, so I hope in the future to do something with him. I am not sure it will be for Zenescope because I don't know if they accept other people to work for them, you know, but I would like to do something with him. Yes, definitely. I admire their work a lot.
Very good. Now, you have one more project with a Polish artist, and I will butcher this name, I'm confident. Przemysław Pantelis?
Yes, his name is Przemysław Pantelis. He's a very young artist. He's about 20, but he's extremely gifted. So we have a big project together. And when I talked to the publishers at the MCM in London about it, they were very interested. I cannot say too much about it, but let's say it is set in dreamland. And it has to do with people who have to keep the balance in the dream world.
Okay. Well, that's a good premise and will keep people interested, I'm sure. Now, you've worked with a number of different languages as well, correct?
Yes, we went to Belgium when I was very young with my parents because my parents were working there. My father was a journalist. My mother worked in the European community. We went there, so my French is very good because I was in school in French and my French is very good.
Excellent.
So you know that.
My French is non-existent, so I admire that.
No, don't worry.
I'm just trying to get to the core of what challenges exist when you try to write across various languages. Could you kind of describe that some?
Yes, well, basically when you work in one language and you are concentrated in it, it is alright, it is fine. When you try to translate a language into another, then it becomes very difficult, especially for the language in which you are weaker. For instance, from French to English, it would be much more difficult for me than from English to French. Now, for what is the comic part, it hasn't really has anything to do with language. It is that the style of comic, you see, of story in France is quite different of the graphic novels in the Anglophone countries. Mm-hmm. You see, they have or more humorous and caricatural stories, or they have something like graphic novels, but the style is very different, so you have basically to change your style. Also, they have wonderful artists. May I try something? I got here a bande dessinée, a French one for you. I don't know if you can see it. Here?
Yeah.
Okay. They have wonderful artists. You know, when you have the storyboard, it is like a painting. So, but the problem is that the artists want very, very often to write the scripts. And drawing very well does not mean that you can write a very good script. So, and everybody is not gifted like Hergé or, the one who wrote Lucky Luke and, so many scripts are not very, very good. In the Anglophone countries, the scripts are better because they have very good writers like Neil Gaiman and Warren Ellis and Alan Moore and Mike Carey,
Sure.
So that's the main difference.
So how do you feel about, let me rephrase the question. What is your favorite style? Is it the more Western style or the more Central European style or a Scandinavian? They have a slightly different style as well.
Yes, I don't know much about Scandinavian comics, but I think that I feel much better with the Anglophone style of comic, the graphic novels, I don't feel very comfortable with the French. I have read a lot because I was in Belgium so many years, so I have obviously read a lot of comics. I know their style, but I prefer something more imaginative, and I think that the Anglophone comics have that. I also prefer reading comics of the Anglophone writers like Neil Gaiman. He's something wonderful for me, or Mike Carey. This is they are idols for me. I would like to do something as wonderful one day.
Well, I'll hope that for you. Well, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll come right back with Sissy Pantelis.
Okay.
Here's a riddle for you. What do the California gold rush of the 1850s, secret societies, coded messages, mysterious 19th century flying machines, and an early 20th century outside artist named Charles A.A. Delshaw all have in common? The Secrets of Delshaw by Dennis Crenshaw and Pete Navarro. Go to www.secretsofdelshaw.com to learn more. All right, and we are back with Sissy Pantelis, and I'm probably still butchering your name, and I apologize for that.
No, don't worry, you say it all right.
And
that's fine.
One of the other things that you're into, Sissy, is writing some prose, and I understand that you have some short stories and some novels in the back of your desk drawer. Would you like to talk about that some?
Yes, well, when I started writing, I was very embarrassed, to write, and I was hiding to write, so I wrote novels, but I never got them to publishers because I was convinced they would reject them. And then I started writing short stories. Some of them were published here in Greece or in France. I have been co-editor in a French science fiction magazine, yes, I would certainly like to publish a novel someday, and many of my short stories now, I am turning them into comics, and we are working on that with my friend Valia Kapadai. She's the one who convinced me to write comics, in fact. She's a wonderful artist here in Greece, with Italian artist Dario Balletta, and with many other people too. But I certainly hope to have prose published, and especially a collection of fairy tales illustrated by some of all these wonderful artists. I know I would like to have that illustrated, yes.
Excellent. Well, we'll certainly look forward to seeing that from you. And are any of your works available as print matter in the United States or Canada, or is it strictly online?
Well, for the moment, it is what I did with the website Dark Brain Comics, and I am preparing now a book with Marcosia. It is an English publishing house. It is a manga-style fairy tale. I am working on that with an Indonesian artist called Adimas Sodekin. He is very, very gifted, and I'm sorry to do this parenthesis, but it is to say that I know a lot of Indonesian artists. They are extremely gifted. In the manga field, they are wonderful. So I'm working with him, and this book will be probably the first one to be available.
Excellent. Well, we'll certainly look forward to its publication on this side of our pond. And,
yes, because...
And hopefully we'll see a lot more out of you with Dark Brain and a lot of the other houses. So
certainly, and I am preparing in my projects. I always liked classical literature, so I have some contacts with people who do adaptations of classical books, but loose adaptations, not strict adaptations. And I will probably do something there. We have already a project with, this is a British, she's Thailandese, an artist, a manga artist, but she lives in England. Her name is Sonia Leong. It is a theme of the Arabian Nights. So this is one project, but I will have more news on February. I don't say anything for the moment, anything else.
Excellent. Well, keep us apprised of that, and hopefully we can get back together and get an update from you.
Thank you very much. I will be very happy to see you again.
Okay, and thank you again, Sissy Pantelis, and this is Rick Osmond for Invest Comics TV.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
And to you, Sissy.
All systems are functional.
And get past the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
Is there life on other planets?
This is nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, and now I'm a voice in the Jackal's head.
Is the government keeping secrets from us?
This is Stephen Bassett, and I am now a voice inside the Jackal's head.
Want to find out more? Listen to the Jackal's Head on the Super Media Network.
The biggest trick the Jackal ever pulled was to convince the world that he doesn't exist.